Okay. So, Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Welcome to our International Business Forum, which is titled Strategy Without Borders. I'm Nur Atrafana binti Ahmad Shokri, your host for today. I'm super duper excited because we'll be diving into some really interesting international business topics from strategy, organizational, structures to leadership and also diversity. All with this example from two global energy giants, Petronas from Malaysia and also Shell from Netherlands. Of course, I'm not alone, and I'm thrilled to have our speakers with us today. Joining me and my brilliant speakers, which is Muhammad Alif Ashraf bin Sabri. How are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
And Muhammad Afif Farhan bin Zulkifli. How are you?
Waalaikumsalam. I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay, who will each contribute to different segments of today's insightful discussion. For this episode, we'll be exploring strategy and leadership challenges in international business, focusing on two global energy leaders, which is Petronas, that representing Asia and also based in Malaysia, and Shell, a major European company headquartered in the Netherlands. These companies are global players in the oil and gas industry and offer rich real-world examples of how corporations navigate complex international landscape. In today's podcast, we'll be diving into four core topics, which is strategic management for international business, on how companies plan and also execute strategy globally. And the second one is organization of international business, on how structures and systems support their international operation. The third one is leadership and employee behavior in the global context, which is the including cross-cultural leadership challenges. And the last one, global diversity management and the concept of local on how companies balance global strategy with local adaptation. So stay with us as we unpack these key international business themes with insight from Petronas and Shell. So can we start first with company Petronas to briefly the background of the company?
Yeah, sure. So now let's start by introducing companies, which is Petronas. Malaysia National Oil and Gas Company was founded in 1974. It has expanded globally, so operating in over 50 countries across Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. It covers everything from exploration to clean energy.
Wow, Petronas really stands out as symbol of nation ambition on the global stage. From upstream exploration to renewable investment, their journey is impressive. Now let's shift our spotlight to energy powerhouse, which is Shell.
Yeah, meanwhile, Shell is based in the Netherlands, Europe. Is one of the world's largest energy companies ever exist. Shell also operates in over 70 countries and has recently shift focus towards the renewable energy with goals to become net zero emission business by 2050.
Totally agree. So um, both Petronas and Shell have shown some incredible growth on the world stage. It's really cool to see how each takes a unique approach to global strategy, depending on their roots and goals. So both Petronas and Shell are key players in the global energy sector, and they offer great examples of how companies manage international strategies and leadership challenges. Right, Shell?
Yes, Alif, I do agree. Shell also face major hits, but they handle it well properly. Like during a COVID-19 period, uh, we shall quickly shift gear by cutting non-essential costs and accelerating our investment in renewable energy project, especially in wind and hydrogen basis. In that move, we help us to stay relevant even when the oil market was down or up. And then we also has faced a complex issue like global workforce diversity, cross-cultural leadership, and adapting strategy to fit local markets. making us a perfect case study for our discussion.
Wow, that's such a great explanation from our both speakers. Thank you for both of you. With that overview in place, I think we now have a clear understanding of why Petronas and Shell are ideal examples for, for exploring the strategic and leadership challenges faced in international business. So let's move into our first discussion segment, shall we?
Yeah,
So
sure.
the first topic, which is strategic management in international business, and see how these companies align their global mission with real world strategy. Now let's dive into our first topic. We will look at how Petronas and Shell align their mission, vision, and also strategies, which is across global markets, and their challenges that they face, and how they stay competitive in times of crisis. So Alif, how Petronas align their mission and vision across global market, and what kind of challenge that they face?
That's a great question, Ms. Atira. So, strategic planning is the core of international success, especially for a company like Petronas. And when you're dealing with a global markets, your mission and vision have to guide every move you make. So Petronas, its mission emphasizes resource sustainability and long-term value creation for stakeholders. Its vision is to be a leading oil and um, gas multinational of choice. This global vision drives its strategy expansion into regions like Africa, Central Asia, and the Middle East. So one key approach Petronas use is strategic partnership and joint ventures, which it help manage risk while gaining local market access.
So, thank you, Ali, for the insightful overview of Petronas. It's inspiring to see how her homegrown Malaysian company has evolved into a global energy player and blending ambition with the collaboration through strategic partnership. Now, let's turn our attention to another industry giant, which is Shell, with deep roots in the Netherlands and also a truly global presence. Shell has not only maintained its position among the top energy companies, but it's also making bold move in the sustainability space. So let's explore how Shell mission and evolving strategy that reflect the energy challenge and opportunities of the future.
Yes, Ms. Astela. In Shell case, our mission is increasingly focused on delivering more and cleaner energy in future. Shell mission strongly aligned with the global sustainability goals, especially our ambition to achieve net zero emission by 2050. Shell international strategy includes major investment in renewable energy such as wind, hydrogen basis, and EV infrastructure, electrical vehicle infrastructure. We also restructure our business into regional hubs to improve the decision making and local responsiveness in the local market and regional parts in the world.
So, apa? Um, yeah. However, Atira and Afif, these both companies face major challenges in strategic planning, especially due to geopolitical instability, fluctuating oil prices, and the global push for decarbonization. So Petronas, for example, had to rethink its strategy during the COVID-19 pandemic when global demand dropped. So they introduced cost-cutting measures and focus more on digital transformation and sustainable energy.
Oh, I see. So COVID-19 give a huge impact to the Petronas. What about Shell? Alif, what challenge that Shell face?
Yeah, Shell also need to respond to this crisis moment by diversifying our non-core assets, increasing investment low carbon solution and simplify our structure. Shell strategic advantage us to have a strong global brand and research and development capacity which support our innovation clean energy and fuels for global markets.
Another key point is competitive advantage for Petronas is usually comes from government backing, integrated operations, and strong LNG capabilities, especially in Asia. So their leadership in carbon capture and storage, which is known as CCS, is also part of their long-term strategy.
Yeah, it goes different for Shell. It's about technology leadership and global scales. Shell adapt quickly by entering new markets and forming a global alliance in areas like offshore, wind energy, and biofuels. Thus, Shell also maintaining a leading position even as the industry evolve over time.
So, listeners, it's clear that while the external pressure like geopolitical tensions and also energy transition are still the same, the way each company rises to the challenge set them apart. Meanwhile, Petronas show resilience through cost control and also digital adoption, while Shell capitalized on its global reach and also technological edge. I especially like how both of you highlighted their competitive advantage. Petronas with its integrated sport and also LNG strength, meanwhile Shell with its R&D muscles and rapid global alliance. This really brings home the idea that strategic planning is like one size fits all formulas, and it's all about aligning strength to the moment and thinking ahead of the curve. Thank you for both of you. Comprehensive this discussion, it's clear that while Petronas and Shell differ in strategy and also geography, both of them face a common strategy challenges, from market volatility to the energy transition, and also are actively reshaping their global strategies to stay ahead. So, okay, Alif and Afif, it's time for chapter 7, which is organization of how international business. This is where things get interesting, and we were talking how companies organize themselves globally and how HQs and branches interact, and also how that structures to support their global strategy. So, my key question is, are Petronas and Shell centralized, decentralized, or hybrid? So we shall start with Alif first.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Miss Atira. So, Petronas is clearly centralized. All the big calls, investments, branding, HR strategy, all of that, they come from HQ in Kuala Lumpur. So it helps them to stay consistent and in control, especially in complex markets like Iran. When you're dealing with international sections, you need everything streamlined.
I get that, but that doesn't make them kind of slow. I mean, what if a local Petronas team in Iran or Africa sees as a fast opportunity? Do they have to wait KL approval first? That can really kill the momentum, right?
Yeah, however, Shell is a bit different, Ms. Atira and Mr. Alif, because Shell follows more on decentralized structure, divide into the regional hubs such as Asia, Pacific, Europe, South America, North America, Africa. It means our local manager have more decision-making powers, which is important when dealing with the local governments, local clients, and the local environmental law, which is different in the part of region.
But I think that decentralization is not always the magic solution. With Shell's model, you risk mixed messaging, legal mistakes, or pure poor coordination. One local team makes a bad move, and boom, global reputation is at risk.
Fair, but a real thought. Didn't Shell bounce back into Iran way faster than Petronas after the nuclear deal lifted sanctions in 2016? That's the advantage of responsiveness. Petronas was still checking with the HQ, while Shell was already setting up meetings with in Tehran. Afif.
Yeah, that's a advantage for Shell. We do respond for the regional regions. For Shells, it will benefit us because local responsiveness is our strength. There is a sudden change in regulation. Let's say Brazil, their local team or local hubs can act fast without waiting the HQ in Europe. Uh, means they they do the decision as long they meet the vision and mission of the shell.
I understand, but with a solid note to the end on. So my conclude that both Shell and Petronas are major players, but their approaches could not be more different. Like Shell moves like a cheetah, fast, alert, and ready to leap when opportunity strikes, while Petronas like more like an elephant, powerful, steady, and also built for long-term stability. All right, guys. So let's jump to something heavier. How do Petronas and Shell handle strategic pressure in the real world market? So we will start with uh, strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Alif, what's going on with Petronas lately?
So right now, Petronas is rebalancing. Here's their SWOT, taking into account a current global scenario, which is for the strengths, strong ties with the Malaysian government, fully integrated supply chain and influence in Asia Pacific energy diplomacy. Also, solid capital backing. Not many companies have that. And for the weakness, they Petronas heavy reliance on fossil fuels. Their centralized structure makes local adaptability slower. They have been slower in their renewable energy shift compared to the others. For opportunities, huge chance in Southeast Asia's clean energy space, solar hydrogen and green ammonia. Also, new alliance in countries shifting away from Russian energy, like parts of Europe and Central Asia. So the last one is tracks. For Petronas unstable oil prices, the 2024 Middle East tension, and strict EU green laws. Also, competitors like Shell are sprinting ahead in innovation.
And that's the key issues, right? Petronas is strong, but are they moving fast enough to stay relevant? Afif, yeah, exactly. While they're still thinking about launching green too.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for shell SWOT analysis is kind of a bit different from Petronas, which is the first our strength is a huge global presence in the global market. Means literally Shell is everywhere in the world. As you can see, in most of part of the world, they have Shell petrol station literally. And then we are invested in the research and development, especially in the clean energy for future uh, things. We do have R&D by regional, but based on the Europe HQ. And then the next, our strength is energy portfolio. It's a wide choice. It means oil, gas, for non-renewable. For renewable energy, we do have wind, solar, hydrogen, many more. And uh, last is our strength is we do decentralize, means we do respond quickly in the decision making of the region. So as a strength, we do have some weakness. The weakness is, of course, the operation cost will be high, huge, and then we do some public backlash over the environment concerns. Is right now is Europe against Europe people demonstrating against Shell because we do some uh, broke the EU law for environment. And then so the next our weakness is geopolitical risk because we do have global operation across the globe. We do must calculate the risk of geopolitical tension, especially right now in Iran Israel issue. We do have need to think something about it for the future. As we see, Shell do have the opportunities in clean energy because it's rising fast sector in the market. Means Shell do invest EV charging station and then hydrogen gaseous energy and then wind farms. We do see the opportunity in emerging markets which have a lot of growth potential, especially in African region. Because the African region tend to become new open markets. And then as a threat, we do see have the ongoing environment protest and lawsuit against us. And then next is the threat is every country is a different rules, right? That's a challenge for our team to compliance all possible rules. And then of course the fluctuation oil price. That's same issue with Petronas also. We do have that issue. Okay.
Okay, Afif, let me stop you there. Sounds like Shell basically walking through a minefield, literally and politically. But here's the flip side. It's not that there is so where Shell thrives. I mean, they have been through the Gulf War, Arab Spring, Ukraine, and they're still standing. Does not that speak to how decentralization and also agility actually could help them turn chaos into the opportunity?
Yes, of course we do. In every crisis, we do see some opportunity against that crisis. So we do have to calculate the risk for the opportunities to can grab faster than anyone else.
So I think that we can all agree that SWOT really shows that the tug of war between strength and also survival in international business. Petronas played it safe and structured, while Shell played it smart and sweet. But both face a very real global threat, especially in conflict-prone regions like Iran and in policy-heavy regions like the US and Europe. Okay, everyone, deep breath. And now we're entering the heart of global pressure right now, war in 2025. Iran and the US at odds again. It's not just politics, it's shaking entire industry. And today we will use Portal 5 forces to figure out that who's built to survive the storm, Shell or Petronas. Shall Afi start us off what Shell dealing with?
So Adira, the energy market in 2024 is a war zone, frequent, figuratively and literally. The Iran as the Iran and Israel war has spiked our oil price, but also split playing fields. Shell is competing with Russia, China-backed firm, and aggressive states oil company like NIOC and IOC Iran, who are dumping crude oil through grey market, especially Shell decentralized structure helps our regional subsidiaries can react quickly when the sanction change overnight. Shell Iran shutdowns, but Shell's India steps up in the game.
So while
Uh,
everyone is scrambling to read the headlines, Shell already written that tomorrow's playbook. Not bad, but that constant pivoting cause them control?
Fair, but control is a luxury in a war. Survival needs flexibility. Petronas, on the other hand, feels the quick all the way back to the HQ. Right now, no one entering the war had made Middle East project too risky for us. Even the Chinese investors are pulling back, but Shell's strength is we are already there. The new player won't build a massive infrastructure while the missiles are flying over straits, but Shell is with the legacy asset owns the map. And then uh, crude oil playing political chess right now with Iranian export blocked by the US sanction. Secondary suppliers like Nigeria and Angola are now charging uh, premium price. The Shell global presence led rebalance our resourcing. We do have contacts in Brazil region or North Sea and Australia. I see Petronas is tighter to the Asian supplier. That's very risky right now for the operation.
Yeah, absolutely true, Afif. War shakes the table, but it also resists our strategy. Petronas, backed with Malaysia's state influence, still has long-term contracts that protect them from the daily oil price rollercoaster. Plus, Asian neighbors like China are eager to secure stable supply from non-Western companies. That's where Petronas becomes a trusted partner.
Interesting, Alif. So you're saying Petronas plays a quiet game stable, less flashy but dependable. But can they scale that approach if Iran oil floods the black market again?
Actually, that's the threat, Ms. Atira. If Iran are enjoining oil markets, even unofficially, it can create pricing and instability over the world. Petronas doesn't move fast. If prices drop too hard, their profit margins collapse faster than Shell's. Same case here, no one's entering, but Petronas is less exposed to speculative competition. They focus on government to government deals in Southeast Asia and Africa. Their challenge isn't new players. It's irrelevance if they don't pivot to clean energy soon. So unlike Shell, Petronas has more stable upstream partnerships, but fewer options. The war cuts off Middle Eastern suppliers and limits gas expansion routes. Right, Miss Sir Afif?
Yeah, exactly. And with the LNG project delays in Qatar and Iran, Petronas is now fighting for the pipeline access in the politically risky region right now. Shell Global Energy that would give us the advantage here.
So global buyers in 2025 want two things: clean energy and secure delivery. Petronas checks the second box, not the first. Shell diversify makes lets them sell power, not just oil. Petronas still depends heavily on fossil exports. Substitutes are coming hard and fast. Iran's oil destruction makes countries rethink dependence. Green hydrogen, biofuels, battery storage, these are becoming political tools, not just energy choices. Shell invests in all of them. Petronas, still mostly oil.
So, Alif and Afif, here's the real drama shell. It's fast and future ready, but tangled in global backlash over its fossil past, Petronas is more stable and also more trusted, but maybe too slow for today. Fast moving world, and let's be clear, Porter 5 forces are not theory anymore. In 25, they look like missiles, sanctions, protests, and also solar farm. This is not just Iran versus the US, it's the all versus the new survival strategy. Who wins? The one that adapts faster. So, okay, listeners, let's take a break from the heavy strategy and war talk and zoom into what really makes a company works its people. Today, we're talking about leadership and employee behavior, specifically about what leadership style do companies like Shell and Petronas use, and how do they keep their teams motivated, especially in different countries and cultures. So, guys, let's think about it. Managing people from 10 different cultures cannot be the same as managing as a local team. So, my first question is, are the company at transformational leaders transactional or a mix of both? So, Alif, let's hear your take on Petronas first.
Okay, great question. Petronas usually leans more towards a transitional leadership style, especially at the top. Big structure with clear expectations, targets, and rewards. There's a chain of command decision, flow top down, and performance is measured closely. But in the last few years, I've noticed a small shift. They're trying to include transformational traits like encouraging innovation and team development, especially in their international teams.
So, like slowly modernizing, but still kinda by the book.
Yeah, exactly. Petronas like orders and controls. It fits their GLC background, but they also means sometimes they move a bit slower in inspiring change, especially in multicultural teams overseas.
I'm sorry, Ali, but I totally disagree because of this is totally opposite story for Shell. We are all about transformational leadership. Shell encourage innovation, autonomy, and even lets local leaders and managers adjust a policy for their local markets. There's a huge when managing diverse and cross-cultural teams.
Okay, but let's be real. Does not all that freedom sometimes lead to confusion, like too many cooks in the kitchen?
Yeah, fair points, but Shell's balance it by giving clear vision and core values. We do have a global vision guides everyone in our team, but the path to get there that's flexible.
But Afi, it's still because structure has its advantages too. Petronas' clear hierarchy means less confusion and more alignment, especially when you're working in regions like Sudan or Turkmenistan, where structure is expected.
All right. I see we have got team freedom versus team structures going on. Now, what about managing cross-cultural teams? These companies are everywhere: Africa, Europe, and also Asia. How do they handle differences in work culture?
Yeah, Shell's trains our managers to be culturally intelligent. We teach them how to handle different communication styles, decision making process, and even the stress level. For example, in Germany, they are more direct. Uh, in Japan, way more subtle. Shell also encourage local leadership in the international team, so people's in our team feel represented and empowered.
But however, Afif, Petronas does something similar, but it's more structured again. They use standardized HR frameworks. They focus on training Malaysian leaders to work overseas rather than promoting too many locals abroad.
Okay, but that might sound risk some culture gaps, right? If I mean, can you really motivate a team in Argentina the same way you do in KL?
Exactly, exactly. That's why Shell's wins here. Motivation is just for salary. Is a recognition of trust and varies across the cultures.
True, but Petronas is catching up. They introducing more employee wellness programs and soft skills training now. It's a work in progress, but it's happening.
All right, so my last point, how do these companies manage their employee stress and also motivation under the pressure?
Yeah, Shell's encourage flexible works. Mental day helps and offer platforms for the feedbacks for our staff. We do have more people first. Even during high pressure projects, employee feel hurts because we do hurts for the voice our chef.
Petronas take a more traditional approach, I think. So performance is the key for Petronas, but they do invest in technical upscaling and clear KPIs, which can reduce stress caused by uncertainty.
So, guys, to wrap this up, she's like the cool, flexible boss that give you freedom and also trust your decision. But Petronas is the more strict but stable boss who guides you every step. Sometimes a bit too closely. Both styles have pros and cons. But in global business, it all comes down to one thing: knowing your people. Job. Okay, so guys, let's talk about something that sounds fancy but is super real in global business. It's local. Thinking global, acting local. So big question is like, how do giants like Petronas and Shell actually practice this? How do they bring global strategy into the local markets without sounding tone deaf or out of place? So Ali, if you are up first, what does Petronas do?
Okay, so Petronas is very structured, no surprise there. But in terms of global, they are slowly opening up. Example, in Sudan, they invested in local community projects like education and water access. It's about winning trust before business, but the global strategy that still comes from the HQ in Malaysia.
So it's like we will help your village, but only after KL signs off.
Hey, it works. Consistency is their strength. Petronas makes sure that their brand values, safety, professionalism, integrity, look the same everywhere.
Yeah, Shells do the opposite from the Petronas. We do start local and build upwards. We give their country officers for a lot of freedom to tweak a project, services, and even a branding. Example in India, we launched a smaller family-run Shell Select store with a local snacks and EV charging spot. Well, in Brazil, we tailored their messaging to reflect local culture, bright, upbeat, and community first.
So she's like, let's blend in and vibe with the locals.
Yeah, exactly, Satira. Shell also got one of the most diverse leadership boards in the energy sector. We do live and breathe inclusion.
Sorry, Afif, but too much localization can also confuse brand identity. What if customer in one region love Shell, but in another they are like, man,
Nah, Mr. Ali, Shells are smart. We keep the core values of global sustainability and innovation, but let the execution feels local. That's the sweet spot for us.
Okay. So Petronas same everywhere, slow but steady. But meanwhile, Shell is different everywhere, fast and right. Now, what about diversity? Like, how do they include different voices, especially in regions with very different cultures?
Yeah, Shells invest heavily in cross-cultural teams. You find leaders from Africa, Europe, Asia, all working together in one roof. And it's not a tokenism. Shell actually promotes based on a global experience. We do also host a cultural intelligence workshop. That's very useful for us to know each other.
Petronas is also trying Atia and Afif the impact they've got local hiring policies, especially in host countries. But most leadership is still from HQ. Inclusion is happening but slow. They focus more on respecting local customs than radically changing their internal culture.
So Shell's like, let's change the system, but Petronas like, let respect the system.
Yeah, exactly. And to be fair, both have strengths. For us, shares adapt fast, but Petronas maintains stability and earns long-term trust in region like Middle East and South Asia.
Plus, when you're government link, you're representing more than business. You're representing diplomacy. Petronas takes that seriously.
I really love it. You're both making great points. So here's the final thoughts. Goki is not just about changing product, but it's about mindset. Meanwhile, Shell adapt outside in. However, Petronas operate inside out, and the global success is finding the right balance between identity and also flexibility. So, can we end off our session by giving any final thought from our two speakers, Alif and Afif?
So for me, learning about these chapters made me realize how much planning, flexibility, and understanding is needed to success in international business. It's not just about expanding; it's about adapting and respecting the people you work with.
Same here. I really like the idea local. It's simple but powerful. Shell and Petronas show us that blending global values and with local understanding can lead to the innovation and long-term success.
So, thank you to the both speakers for coming to give talks about two great companies, which is Petronas and Shell. And I hope today has changed spark a deeper reflection on how global success is built through inclusive thinking, respect, and also innovation. Well, that brings us to the end of our session today. We will explore on how international business like Petronas and Shell handle everything from strategy, structures, leadership, and also finally diversity. Each chapter taught us that managing a global company is not just about business, but it's also about people's values and being open to change. Thank you so much again to Alif and Afi for the awesome sharing, and to all of you listening. Hopefully, you learned something new and had fun along the way. Till next time, stay curious, stay global, and take care, everyone. Assalamualaikum and goodbye.